What's up, you guys? My name's Cody. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. I talk about everything you need to know about Salt Lake City and Northern Utah real estate. If you're a returning subscriber or you've seen my videos before, welcome back. Glad to have you. Now, this video is going to pertain if you live here in Salt Lake City or even any of the surrounding cities, but it will also apply to you if you're living in another state. You know, a lot of people who watch my videos do live in other states, and if you have a home to sell, a lot of this information will be relevant for you as well. So when is the best time to actually sell your house? We're going to start at the beginning of the year, talk about the winter months, then spring, then summer, then the beginning of winter, you know, kind of the end of the year for us here in Utah. But before we do that, the thing I have to preface this with is that if you are thinking about selling your house, the first thing you always have to take into account, in my opinion, is what is your personal situation? Is there a reason why you're looking at selling your house, and what is going to cause that to happen at this time versus that time, right? So you have to really look at the opportunity cost. Yes, you might be able to get a little bit more for your house in a couple months if prices continue going up, but that might not be the best option for you, right? Maybe that might be the sacrifice you have to make to give up on a couple $1,000s to get out of town a little bit sooner, or to get to that new job, or to get to maybe your dream home. You know, maybe you're going to be buying your dream home. If you can spend a couple extra months in your dream home, that might be worth giving up a lower price for your house today rather than waiting 6 months to sell it. So you always have to weigh these options back and forth. You know, what are the pros, what are the cons, and then make a decision based off of that. So for each individual person, it may make sense to wait, or it may make sense to just do it right now, even though it might not be the best time to sell your house on the market. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the beginning months of the year. We're going to talk about January, February, and March here. Now, these are going to be basically the middle of winter for us here in Utah. If you need to sell your home during this time, you definitely can. And some of the good things about this time of year is that there's going to be less competition on the market because inventory will be down, but there's also going to be more buyers in the market as well. Anybody who's looking at buying or selling real estate during this time is generally pretty serious, because most people don't want to move during the winter. They don't want to move during the cold, the snow, all of that. So if they're making a move during this time, it's because they have a reason to do so, and they're very serious about doing that. So you're going to get more serious people, which really helps with getting rid of the tire kickers that you can see other times of years. Now, as we move into talking about the spring months, before we do that, if you're thinking about making a move here to Utah, or you already live here and you're thinking about selling your house, buying a new one, or even investing in real estate, then reach out to me. Call, text, or email me anytime. My information will be here on the screen. I absolutely love it when you guys reach out, and I cannot wait to hear from you about your situation. I would love to help you accomplish any of your real estate goals, and I love when people reach out to me. So go ahead and do that before the end of this video, and let's have a chat about the type of home and lifestyle that you're looking to have when you buy, sell, or invest in real estate here in Utah. So with the spring months, this really covers April, May, and June. This is probably going to be the best time to sell your house, at least in my own personal opinion. The reason why is because you're going to see prices jump up really quickly, because you generally have a lot of buyers come into the market, especially at this time of year, and also with how the last couple of years have gone. There's a lot of demand for real estate here in Utah. So we see a lot of buyers enter the market. We see a lot of homes get multiple offers, and this is where you see homes sell for 4, 5, 6, even 7% above the listing price, and you see appreciation jump up really rapidly. In my personal opinion, I would say May or June is probably the best time to sell your house. But at this time of year, you know, for 2020, 2021, and maybe even 2022, I would say that maybe even pushing that back a little bit to June or July might be a little bit better, so you can really capture those couple extra months of appreciation. We saw massive jumps from May, or let's go back and say from March until July. We saw massive jumps month over month for appreciation. Literally, if you bought a house in May, you could have sold it in July and probably made 20, 30, 40 grand just from waiting those couple of months. So this is how quickly prices can move during this time of year. Some of the negatives to selling at this time of year is you potentially might have a little bit more competition. There's going to be not only more houses on the market that other buyers might want to go buy first, but if you are a buyer in this market as well, right? If you're going to be selling your house and then going and buying a new one in the same market, you could potentially be putting yourself in a situation where you are also now competing against other people, potentially also paying a higher price for the next house and having to jump into a little bit of that crazy market. So that's something to just kind of keep in mind, is that yes, it is probably the best time of year to sell, but if you're also a buyer in the market, you're going to have some additional competition. It's not impossible to navigate, but it is just something you have to keep in mind. This is where I think having a very good, experienced real estate agent on your side, such as myself, would be really able to help you through this situation and make it a smooth transition, selling your old house and moving into the new one. Now, as we talk about the end of summer and even moving into early fall, let's say July, August, September, maybe even the beginning of October, this is going to be the time of year where school is getting back in session, the temperature is cooling down as, especially in those later months, and less people are going to be moving. So we typically see prices kind of flatten out a little bit. They're still generally going up at this time of year. And we also see fewer buyers in the market as well as fewer homes on the market. So this could be a good time of year. There's not going to be a whole lot of pros or cons to selling at this time of year. I'd say it's kind of 50-50, probably the second best time to sell your house here in Utah. And last up, let's talk about selling your house in early winter. So this would cover like October, November, and December. This is probably one of the least ideal times to sell your house because not only are you moving into the holidays where you're going to be busy with family and friends and parties and all of that stuff, there's also going to be fewer buyers in the market because they're also busy with that type of stuff. So this is where we see prices really flatten out. They usually stay pretty flat. Here in Utah over the last couple of years, prices haven't gone down during this time, but they've just leveled out and we haven't seen a ton of appreciation during this time of year. Now, this last year was kind of an exception to that because of COVID and how crazy the market was, but in most years, it's typically pretty flat. So again, if you have to sell your house during this time of year because you got a new job or you're having a new baby or you need a bigger house or a smaller house or whatever, if that's your situation, then you might just have to go ahead and do it anyway. It's not going to like totally kill you because it might be worth it to sell in November rather than selling in March, waiting that extra 5 or 6 months for that next March. But it really depends on your personal situation and kind of what is going to be best for you at this point in time. It's not going to be the worst thing. It's not going to be the best thing. So just something to kind of keep in mind there with the beginning months of winter. So with all that being said, guys, I hope this information was helpful for you. If you own real estate here in Utah and you're thinking about selling it, then reach out to me. If you like what I have to say here, I'd love to give you my personal opinion on your situation and your home specifically about whether you should sell now or you should sell later on. I will give you an honest, unbiased opinion just based off of what you tell me your situation is. So my information will be here on the screen. Call, text, or email anytime. I'd love to hear from you and I'd love to talk to you about your situation. And going beyond that, if you're thinking about moving to Utah, as always, you can reach out to me for that as well. I love helping people relocate here to Utah. With that said, guys, give me a thumbs up here on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and most importantly, share this with a friend or family member who's also thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate here in Utah. With that said, catch you in the next one.